Are you thinking about moving to or visiting Mont Belvieu, Texas? If you're thinking about moving to or even visiting Mont Belvieu, Texas, here's 2 things that you'll want to know. So, moving to or visiting Mont Belvieu, Texas. Hi, I'm Will Johnson. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Mont Belvieu, Texas area. If you're thinking about moving to or visiting Mont Belvieu, Texas, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text message, hit me on Instagram with a DM, however you can get a hold of me, because I love to hear from you guys. So, 2 things that you should know before moving to Mont Belvieu, Texas. Number 1 is the cost of living in Mont Belvieu, Texas. Before you move anywhere, you should always count the cost. So Mont Belvieu, Texas origin started somewhere in the 1800s, and I believe it was founded in the early 1900s. But what's the cost of living in this place? So Mont Belvieu, Texas has developed into more of a higher end luxury area for people to live in. So you can see that when you drive there, everything looks new and things are still being built up here in Mont Belvieu, Texas. So I'll be referencing a blog from bestplaces.net which goes over the cost of living in Mont Belvieu, Texas. I'll have a link down below in the description for anybody who wants to look at that themselves. So bestplaces.net uses a scale of 100, 100 being a U.S. average. Anything above would be a higher cost of living on average, anything below would be a lower cost of living on average. So Mont Belvieu, Texas comes in at a 115.8 out of 100, which means Mont Belvieu is a little higher. That being said, Mont Belvieu, Texas is a higher end area. We have a few other areas in Baytown that are higher end, but Mont Belvieu as a city is a higher end area. Mont Belvieu has a city population of about 7,200 and growing. Everything here is kind of new. You know that if you drive through there. They have a new HEB with a lot of new stores coming up around the HEB in this little shopping mall plaza. So we'll get into that a little later in the video. It's located in Chambers County. So Chambers County is a county right outside of Harris County. If you're going east toward Beaumont from Houston, you run into Chambers County. So you have Harris County, then you have Chambers County, then you have Jefferson County. And I believe after that it's Orange County, but all of this is southeast Texas, and Mont Belvieu is located in Chambers County. The good thing about staying in Chambers County is the tax rate is a little lower. If you get a house in Mont Belvieu, typically the house would be a higher price. The same price house that you would get in Mont Belvieu, you would end up paying more for your mortgage in Harris County or in Houston or somewhere like that, because the tax rate is a lot higher. So a lot of people love to come to Mont Belvieu because their buying power and what they can get for their dollar goes a little further.
Most people move here for 2 reasons. The schools, being Barbers Hill School District, which is A-rated. They're the most excellent schools in the area. The other reason is the tax rate is only 2.3% before homestead. So people like that because they can afford more home here. Our houses are typically a little more expensive than other areas, but with that lower tax rate, it allows them to buy more home. So for instance, somebody buying a $320,000 home in Baytown can have the same monthly payment as a $350,000 home here in Mont Belvieu because of the low taxes. Okay.
So I'll be referencing a chart from bestplaces.net. So let's go to grocery. Grocery for Mont Belvieu, Texas is a 100.8 out of 100 being a U.S. average and a 93.7. So in Mont Belvieu, they only have a few places for groceries. I believe they have a few shops in town, but the biggest thing that everybody goes to is the new HEB. I stay closer to the Anahuac area, but I always go to Mont Belvieu, Texas for the UPS store and for the HEB. Healthcare comes in at a 101 out of the Texas average being a 95.4 and the US being 100. So the median home cost in Mont Belvieu, Texas here is $356,000. The US average is $291,700. So as I said, Mont Belvieu, Texas, because of the cheaper tax rate, you can get a house at this rate for $350,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 and have a lower price mortgage than someone that had a house $20,000 more. Why? Because the tax rate is lower, so that affects the mortgage. And then once you pay the house off, all you have to do is pay the taxes, and you appreciate having the lower tax rate compared to Harris County. Under utilities comes at a 94.4 The Texas is 99.2. So the utilities are lower. Transportation comes in at a 119.4. Now I don't know why transportation came in so high with Mont Belvieu, but I go there all the time and get gas, and it seems the same to me. So I don't know why transportation, what's all affecting that. But if you are moving from out of state of Texas and you come to Texas, one thing that you should know is that Texas is very big. So Texas has a lot of long roads with the speed limits are adjusted, so they're generally a little higher because you're going to do more driving when you come to Texas. Unless you get a house or a location like really close to your job, you're going to do a little more driving in Texas in general. The speed limit is a little higher and so forth. So Texas is very big. As the old saying goes, everything is bigger in Texas.
Hey guys, did you know that everything is bigger in Texas?
The last thing on the chart is miscellaneous, coming in at 102.4 out of the 100. So in general, you see that Mont Belvieu, Texas is about on the same par as Houston. Is probably a little higher than Houston for the prices, but Houston prices are like really skyrocketing, like through the roof. You should see what you can get in Mont Belvieu for this amount that I just named versus what you can get in the actual heart of Houston. Houston prices are going higher and higher, just like everything. A lot of people are moving here, so the prices are going up. The same thing happened in New York and Manhattan and everything. So it's all about location, people. So that wraps things up for the cost of living in Mont Belvieu, Texas. As you see that the cost of living in Mont Belvieu, Texas is a little higher. It's a little more luxury here. The homes are nicer here, but also the tax rate is lower, so it kind of offsets you by, you know, 20, 30, maybe even $40,000. If I missed anything, please put it in the comments below. So that wraps things up for the cost of living in Mont Belvieu, Texas. That brings us to point number 2, the environment and the neighborhoods in Mont Belvieu, Texas. So what are the neighborhoods and what is the environment like in Mont Belvieu, Texas? So if you look at a map of Mont Belvieu, Texas, it's pretty much like a circle with little squigglies going toward the east. Mont Belvieu, Texas is really a suburb of the greater Houston, greater Baytown area. So Mont Belvieu, Texas doesn't have a lot to do in it per se. Mont Belvieu, Texas is more of a suburb. It's a nice place to live. Parks there. They have the Barbers Hill School District, which everybody likes. Barbers Hill School District is one of the #1 schools in Texas. So a lot of people bring their children to Mont Belvieu so that they can go to the Barbers Hill School District and so that they can have better education. I guess one of the main things you should know about Mont Belvieu going through the area is Eagle Drive. Eagle Drive has just about everything and anything you'll need. You have your banks there, you have your schools there, is the main thing. So don't drive too fast when you go down there. So Eagle Drive had your tax office for you to go pay your taxes, for you to go do your registration for your car, all those types of things. It has a little Jiffy Lube place where you can go get your car registration inspection done. That's about all. So I guess the biggest thing with Mont Belvieu, Texas is, you know, you have your HEB there. So that's like the main go-to point for everybody in the city. It has everything you need there. There's a Papa John's coming if it's not already there by the time I'm recording this video. Mods Pizza, they're building a lot of stuff around the new HEB Plaza. They've reconstructed the bridge of I-10 to go over. At first, Mont Belvieu had a bridge that went over I-10. Now the Mont Belvieu Road goes under, so it's a lot nicer. It was a pain when all the construction was going on, but now it's nicer to be there in that area. Below Mont Belvieu, Texas, you have a little city called Beach City, which all of this is kind of part of Baytown, but Beach City homes are even more luxury than Mont Belvieu. Certainly now Mont Belvieu are getting some that are kind of competing with Beach City. The last time I went to Mont Belvieu, they were building homes, higher end homes in the $500,000 range. I'll try to have a video soon about this. If not, once I do, it'll be in the description. So Mont Belvieu has refineries around it. I know they have the Enterprise refinery is very big there, and a lot of people that live in Mont Belvieu work in the refineries. As I said in my video on moving to Houston and my video on moving to Beaumont, that the refineries are very big here in the Southeast Texas area. This is the capital of refineries, so a lot of people work at refineries. You can do really good and retire well off just by working at the refineries in this area. So in Mont Belvieu, people love to go hunting and fishing, whether that's going up to the north to the Dayton area, or whether that's going a little further east to the Anahuac area. But people love to go hunting and fishing. A lot of people in the Mont Belvieu area have a lot of trophies, or you'll see a lot of deer on the walls. A lot of people in Mont Belvieu pride themselves on hunting. Really, in the whole Texas area, people love to hunt, but I thought I should mention that. Also, what's the climate like in Mont Belvieu, Texas? So in Mont Belvieu, Texas, the climate's the same as the whole Southeast Texas. I did a video on the climate and the environment in Baytown, Texas. You can go to that basically, but it's moderately warm all year round here. So if you like warm weather, this would be a nice place for you to come. If you don't like it, you may not want to come here. One big things that people like to do here in this area is they like to hunt pig. There's big on pig hunting. Sometimes the pig population gets out of hand and out of control, and you're able to go hunt pigs at will, and people love to hunt the pigs. So sometimes really good chance you will see crawfish. You see these crawfish come out of the ground every year. They make these little tunnels, and people here love the crawfish. People here love to eat the crawfish. That's why I did a video of the crawfish place. The crawfish place is one of the most famous places in this area that people love to go to. So what is this bar about?
So here at the crawfish place, we are just like a small bar and grill that are located in Anahuac. We have everything from boiled crawfish, seafood.
So in conclusion, Mont Belvieu is a great choice and a great place to live if you're looking for a higher end suburb in the greater Houston, greater Baytown area. Also remember, the neighborhoods are amazing in Mont Belvieu, and also remember that the school district is very exceptional. It's one of the best school districts in all of Texas. So if you want very nice schools and a nice place to live where there's not a lot of stuff going on in a nice suburb, Mont Belvieu, Texas might just be the place for you. Until next time, see you in the next video.